Okay, so you're a CTO and you're trying to choose the right e-commerce platform.
Tough choices.
Yeah. Adobe Commerce, Sans, or Shopify. Lots of features, so many technical specs.
It's a lot to sort through.
We're going to help you cut through it all today in this deep dive.
Yeah, think of this as your guide to really make sense of this choice.
Absolutely. And we're going to be using a framework developed by Rafael Correa Gomes.
Love his work.
Yeah, he highlights 4 key pillars.
That's the way to think about this?
Yeah, for comparing these platforms, and we're going to use those pillars as anchors.
Yeah, good anchors.
The first one is strict and complex requirements.
Uh-huh.
That's when your platform needs to integrate really deep into what you already have.
The heart of your systems, right?
Exactly, like custom CRM.
Customer relationship management.
Yeah, for those who aren't swimming in the acronyms all day.
Gotta define those. You never know who's listening.
And ERP.
ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning.
Right, so that's the first pillar.
Okay, so what about pillar number 2?
Okay, pillar number 2 is TCO and flexibility.
Oh, okay.
This is an important one.
Yeah, this is like the classic trade-off, right? The more flexibility you want, the more customization you want, the higher your total cost of ownership is going to be.
You got it.
So it's like, how much do you want to build versus buy, right? How much do you want to customize?
Right. Okay, so
Big considerations.
number 3,
Hit me.
faster ROI and time to market.
Oh, speed is king.
This is all about getting your store up and running quickly and making money faster.
And not spending an arm and a leg to do it right.
Lower initial investment, absolutely.
Makes sense.
And the final pillar is flexible business requirements.
Okay.
This is where your business is basically open to adapting its processes to use what the platform already has.
Leverage those built-in features, best practices.
Efficiency, right.
Right.
Okay, so Rafael created this really cool visual.
He does great visuals.
It's a 4-quadrant diagram to illustrate where these platforms sit.
Oh, that's helpful. I like that.
Yeah, and we're going to refer back to that throughout this deep dive.
All right, keep us grounded.
Yes, and we want to help you figure out which platform fits you best.
Cut to the chase, right?
By the end of this,
Give them the clarity.
clarity, yes. Okay, let's dive into Shopify first.
All right, the Shopify world.
Okay, so with Shopify, you've got basic all the way to advanced.
Oh, yeah, they have a nice little spectrum there.
What's their main strength?
Speed, speed, speed. You can get a store up and running so fast.
Wow, really?
It's incredible, and you can pretty much do it all yourself.
So if we go back to Rafael's framework,
Yeah.
where would that put Shopify? I mean, it sounds like faster ROI and time to market is huge.
Absolutely. That's where they shine. They really prioritize ease of use.
Got it.
It's for businesses that want to just start selling and not worry about complex setups.
So they don't have to completely change their whole business.
Exactly. It's about adopting Shopify's structure and its ecosystem of tools.
So it's kind of like they're choosing from a set of, pre-designed components.
Yeah, like a nice little kit, everything you need.
Now, when we move up to Shopify Plus,
Things get a little more interesting.
yeah, it still has good time to market, good ROI,
Still quick, still efficient.
but to make it more tailored,
You need a little extra help.
you start looking at their app ecosystem.
The app ecosystem, that's where the magic happens.
So how does Shopify Plus fit in Rafael's model?
It's a bit of a hybrid. You still get that fast launch.
Okay,
But if you want to customize,
yeah.
you're going to need to use apps, and that's where you start to see that balance shift towards TCO and flexibility.
So you're saying it can still be a fast setup.
But the more apps you add, the more complex and expensive it gets.
Interesting. So if you need a lot of customization with Shopify Plus, does that mean you might need to rethink the whole architecture, like go headless?
You're thinking like a pro. That's exactly where we're headed.
Okay, so let's talk about headless.
Let's get headless. It's a hot topic.
So we've got commerce components from Shopify
Yeah,
and Adobe Commerce Sans,
both great options.
and they both fall into the higher TCO and flexibility quadrant, right?
Right, and that's mainly because of their headless architecture.
So for our CTOs out there,
Who might not be totally familiar with this?
can you break down what headless actually means?
Sure, think of it like this. You're separating the front end, the part your customers see, from the back end, the engine that makes everything work behind the scenes.
So that's like inventory, payments, orders.
All that good stuff. And this separation gives you a ton of freedom.
Freedom to do what?
To customize the customer experience, you can make it exactly how you want it.
So basically more flexibility, more control, but
There's always a but.
you need more development work up front.
You got it. And a more complex architecture, that's what Rafael was talking about.
It's not like using a platform where the front end is already built.
Right. With Headless, you're building that front end experience from scratch.
Okay, so that makes sense why the TCO is higher. You're investing more up front.
Exactly. More development, more maintenance.
Rafael talked about some specific situations where headless really shines. When does it become essential?
Okay, let's say you want to create personalized experiences for different customer.
Okay.
Like VIPs. You want to give them their own special interface.
Without slowing down the website for everyone else.
Exactly. That's where server-side rendering comes in.
And that makes the site load faster, right?
Yes, and it's better for SEO.
SEO, search engine optimization.
Right, because the server is doing the heavy lifting instead of the user's browser.
So are you saying that Commerce components or Adobe Commerce are better for that than Shopify Plus?
They are, because they're built for that kind of granular control.
So Shopify Plus can't really handle that level of server-side customization.
It can be done, but it's much more complex.
Interesting.
It's not really what it's designed for.
Okay, what about that other situation Rafael mentioned?
Yeah, the URL structure.
Maintaining an exact URL structure. That sounds kind of nitpicky.
It might seem that way, but for some businesses, it's crucial.
Like if they've got good search engine rankings already?
Right, or if they've got marketing campaigns tied to those specific URLs.
It can't be changed.
Exactly, and that's a strict and complex requirement that Headless is perfect for.
You got total control over how those URLs are generated.
That's all in your hands.
But with Shopify Plus, or the basic Shopify plans,
You're more limited.
you can tweak things a little.
But you can't do a complete overhaul.
Okay, so if that URL structure is mission critical,
Then that higher TCO and longer implementation time for Headless might be worth it.
it's a trade-off.
Always a trade-off.
Okay, let's go back to that 4-quadrant diagram.
Let's see where everything lands.
Help me visualize this.
Okay, imagine a graph.
Okay.
Vertical axis is strict and complex requirements at the top.
Okay.
Flexible business requirements at the bottom.
Got it.
Horizontal axis is faster ROI and time to market on the left. TCO and flexibility on the right.
Okay, where does standard Shopify go?
Bottom left quadrant.
So faster ROI and time to market.
And flexible business requirements.
Makes sense. Quick start, lower cost.
And you're working within Shopify's way of doing things.
What about Shopify Plus?
It moves a bit to the right and a bit up.
So still good time to market.
But more flexibility, potentially higher TCO.
Because of those apps.
Right, but it's still for businesses that can be flexible.
Not for the ones with super specific needs.
Exactly.
Okay, and Commerce Components and Adobe Commerce SaaS,
Top rate.
quadrant,
Yeah.
higher TCO and flexibility.
Because they're headless.
And they can handle those really strict requirements.
Because you have the freedom to build whatever you need.
So this diagram really sums up the trade-offs.
It's all laid out for you.
Speed and lower cost on the left.
Customization and control on the right.
So if you're a CTO listening to this,
What's the takeaway?
there's no one best platform. It depends.
Depends on what?
Your business, your technical team, your priorities,
Flexibility, cost, speed.
all those factors.
It's about choosing the platform that aligns with your goals.
So to wrap up,
Let's tie it all together.
choosing Shopify's standard offerings usually means a quick launch, lower cost.
But you'll probably need to adapt your business a bit.
Headless options like Commerce Components or Adobe Commerce give you more customization and control.
But it'll cost more upfront and take longer to implement.
The key is to understand these trade-offs.
And figure out which one fits your needs.
And as you're making this decision, think about
What are the big questions?
your long-term business goals, how much control you need.
Yeah.
Which of those 4 pillars is most important to you?
That's the million-dollar question.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Hope this was helpful.
We'll see you next time.